Learning from pro players can provide valuable insights into effective aiming strategies. Jinggg is a unique player who thrives off his aggressive playstyle, but how exactly does he match his different attributes to improve his aim? This video will cover how Jingg's aim and playstyle link up perfectly, which allows him to destroy enemies consistently.
Oh my god, what? This guy's insane!
Starting with his general aiming style, which the most important thing I noticed is that he doesn't rely on first bullet accuracy. As you can see when slowing down almost any of his clips, he rarely focuses on hitting the first bullet and instead just tries to aim faster. If you compare this to a play like Demon 1, you can see he is much more consistent at hitting the first shot as he values precision over speed. However, both come with positives and negatives. Fast aimers can apply pressure on their opponents by forcing them to react quickly. This is best effective in close range, where quick reflexes are crucial, and Jingg's aggressive playstyle matches perfectly with this. However, this type of aim can be hard to maintain, and if you try to copy Jingg's style, then it might look something like this. But that's why Jinggg has mastered spray control, which ensures that he can reliably hit his shots. His movement consists of frequent crouching, but rarely commits to a crouch spray unless at close range. This is great for keeping consistent aim and also keeps Jinggg a moving target during his gunfights. Movement is a huge factor behind his success. Many spray aimers fall into the trap of constantly crouching. However, Jinggg stays very disciplined and has learnt to only crouch spray in the right situation. You can look at almost any of his clips and see that he will actually crouch in small intervals while strafing to give his enemy a harder time of hitting their shot. Jinggg can be a nightmare for low sense aimers in Valorant. Understanding his strengths and weaknesses perfectly, Jingg's high sensitivity, which is 0.2 1600 DPI, works flawlessly with his aggressive playstyle, as a higher sensitivity is great for fast flicks and close range gunfights. Therefore, Jinggg uses his knowledge to his advantage by constantly trying to force close range engagements and apply pressure on his enemies. One way he is able to force close range fights is with his raze satchels. Jinggg fits into the duelist role perfectly, with raze being one of the best agents for clearing areas and closing down space. So things like this, where he actually plays raze because it directly suits his playstyle. So keep in mind when you're choosing an agent, as it's more important than you think. Also, when you get to know your style of play, you can start to adapt to whatever agent you play, so that you can get the most value out of them. Now let's look at what he does in long range fights, which is uncommon that he takes these, but obviously it does still happen. And as you can see, he crouches a lot less frequently and instead just does regular burst counter strafing. Apart from that, he still uses this fast aiming style. As you can see, he almost never goes for one taps at this range. Compare this to a completely different aimer such as Demon 1, who at long range, you can see him using 1 to 2 bullets at a time, as he prefers to have more stability. If you look at Demon 1 clips, you can see him using weapons such as the Guardian and the Sheriff, which are guns that fit his style of aim, whereas Jinggg will use guns such as the Frenzy and Spectre, which better match his playstyle. Jingg's aggressive playstyle can be very hard to replicate, especially if you're not used to this style of play. Aggressive playstyles are all about taking risks. However, Jinggg will know exactly what risks to take due to his thousands of hours using this playstyle. There will have been many times where he'll have done something which might have looked in quotation marks stupid, perhaps even in pro play, but players with this style have to take risks and they'll be constantly learning from their mistakes. So what can you do to learn more about your playstyle so that you can play to your strengths? Well, first of all, you need to look at what type of aimer you are. So that could be whether you're a spray aimer like Jinggg, or you're good at long range, or actually, you might be really good bursting with the Vandal. Then you can understand what type of playstyle might be good for you as a player. This can be done by looking at what type of agent you play, how you like to position yourself in different situations, and also things like your sense that could have a big impact on your playstyle. For example, if you main Jet, however you play on a really low sense, such as 0.2 800 DPI, your style of entry will be a lot different to high sense Jet players. This is because your strengths as a low sense player might be a more careful and slower approach to the site, whereas a high sense player such as Jinggg might push really fast as they can clear corners a lot easier and are better suited in close range engagements. So try to pick apart your style like I've done in this video and use it to play to your strong points. And not only will you have better decision making, but also taking into account what agent you play, your sense, etc., you can really start to improve as a player when you next play Valorant.